Hello there, VC. It's Steve Whitty here again. Wasn't going to plan to do a video today, but over the last couple of days, well, a couple of days ago, I managed to see James Griffiths' video about classic compilations, and yesterday I saw Grivo69 Graham do his response. Now, for the first time, I'm going to do a response as well. I've got quite a few compilations as well, which I'd like to share. I think hopefully trying to be a bit different to what the guys have already shown, or at least different albums. So the first one I'm going to show you, well, the first two, I'm a bit surprised that these didn't come up as classics comps go. The Beatles 62 to 66, the Red Album, double album. And then follow that with, get it the right way around, the Blue Album 67 to 1970. I've probably shown these albums before. Most of the albums, in fact all the albums I've shown before, but these are comps. These, to me, are the classic Beatles comp albums. Yesterday it was the #1 album, which was their #1 singles, but as it said, it was their #1 singles. What you've got here is just some album tracks as well, some really best known tracks, and it's just you've got obviously the two classic photos from the EMI building, taken early in the career, and then recreated later on in that same album. Picture recreated later on in their career. No record collection should be complete without these, and I was fortunate to pick these up for £1 each, and they play well. Also, last week I found them again in the pound bins and sort of picked them up for my young niece who's getting into her vinyl. Next comp, I've become a big fan of this group, Be-Bop Deluxe. I've only got a couple of their albums, but when I saw this going in my local record shop for £10, I thought it was too good an opportunity to say no to. You've got on the album Axe Victim, Made in Heaven, Ships in the Night. These are the two big hit singles, but you've also got here on there some great tracks: Music in Dreamland, Dance of Uncle Sam's Humanoids, Quest of the Harvest of the Stars. It's a band, if you haven't checked them out before, it's worth checking out. Sort of got lost a little bit, but it was like the Bowie influence and all that. Bill Nelson, underrated, and I've got to check out to get some Red Noise actually. Grivo69 showed Black Sabbath's Greatest Hits. I will show you my copy of Black Sabbath's We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll's double album, comp album. I can't think of the life of me off the top of my head where it came out, but you've got it mixes the tracks up. No particular order. So side one, you've got Black Sabbath, The Wizard, Warning. You've got on side 2 Paranoid, War Pigs, Iron Man from Paranoid, and then you've got Wicked Well from the Black Sabbath album. Side 3, Tomorrow's Dream, Fairies Wear Boots, Changes, Sweetleaf, Children of the Grave. And then on side 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Am I Going Insane, Laguna, Sunrise, Snowblind, and MIB. It's just, it's just your starting point for Sabbath. If you can't afford the reissues, if you can get hold of if you can get hold of a copy of this is a good start. And even Graham's the Black Sabbath Greatest Hits is just a good starting point. Comps are great as starting points, sort of back catalogue, and it might be a cheap way to get into a band. Cause a lot of albums, especially reissues, are expensive, but even when they turn up second hand, they can be expensive as well. And a lot of these bands don't turn up in the pound bins, quite understandably. So if you get a good comp, it starts you off. James showed Hot Rocks, Rolling Stones comp. It probably is the Rolling Stones comp, but I managed to find a copy of Roll Gold. This came out on the Decca label. I'm trying to think, when did it come out? I'm not sure, to be quite honest. We got 71, 72, I think. But you've got everything. Background there. Picture of the band. It could do with a clean. This copy, the cover good. You've got the picture of it, all the band members at that point. Yeah, you've got everything on here. Pretty much you've got what's on Hot Rocks, to be quite honest. I think there's a couple of differences, but yes, any Rolling Stones comp, and there's quite a few of those floating around. Now, since I've started buying vinyl again, one of the things I've gotten into is probably more folk style, folk rock leanings. Probably because some of the records have come up and I've just taken advantage of buying them. Some of it I've listened to before through Spotify or had CD or heard from downloads and whatever. This I've shown you once previously. This is the Fairport Convention. I'm trying to think what it's called. Sort of like the best of Fairport Convention. And you've got here Pete Frame Family Tree, where everyone started and where they went to. It's a great album. Opens up with Meet Me on the Ledge, Fotheringay, Mr. Lacey, Book Songs, Sailor's Life, Side 2, Si Tu Dois Partir, which is their only hit single, which is Bob Dylan's If You Should Go Now, and sung in French. Who Knows Where the Time Goes, and that is a classic song in itself. Matty Groves, Crazy Man Michael. Side 3 is a medley, which is The Lark in the Morning, Rakish Paddy, Fox Hunter Jig, Toss the Feathers. And then you've got Now Be Thankful, Walk a While, Sloth, Bonnie Black Hair. And side 4, you've got Angel Delight, Bridge Over the River Ash, John Lee, Breakfast in Mayfair, Hanging Song, and then the Hens Part / the Four Poster Bed. Great introduction to the band. Their albums are expensive to get hold of in the world, especially originals. Another comp I found, and this is Pentangle, and again another band whose albums are very expensive. So I was quite pleased to pick up this comp from the 80s. You've got here Let No Man Steal the Time, Bells, Hear My Core, Turn Your Money Green, Live, I've Got a Feeling Live, Bruton Town, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, When I Was in My Prime, Sweet Child, and then Light Flight, which is their well-known song, which was a hit single. It was taken from a TV program called Take 3 Girls, Once I Had a Sweetheart, Sally Go Round the Roses, and Made That's Deep in Love, Lord Franklin, When I Get Home, Rain and Snow, Will the Circle Be Unbroken. Pentangle was considered to be like a folk rock supergroup, but it was more to it than that. There's so many influences there as folk. But it's, Danny Thompson's bass playing, Teddy Cox's jazz drumming, got Bert Yancey's guitar, Jackie McPhee, and then John Renbourn. Just a great band, Again, getting hold of it, it's rarer than Rocking Horse Droppings, getting hold of some of their stuff. Album, a group that I get more stuff off, and this is Steeleye Span, and this is Original Masters. And you've got here another folk group. They sort of broke off, from Fairport Convention. And what you've got here is Sir James the Rose, Black Jack Davy, All Around My Hat, probably their biggest hit single, The Wife of Usher Well, Fighting for Strangers, Thomas the Rhymer, 700 Elves, Long Larkin, Elf Corps, and then you've got on side 3 cameo. I'm reading this because the cover's rather big. Pray France, Berlin Moorhen, Alison Grace, which is my favourite one. It's a traditional North Country song done in rock vein. The Moon Coin Jig, Drink Down the Moon, and then on side 4, Lonely on the Water, Skillbore, some jigs, Saucy Sailor, and Gaudete, which was another hit single, which is normally played around Christmas time. That was a great compilation. And then pick this up for a couple of quid, and I think Record Collection should have some Steely Dan in it. Steely Dan's Greatest Hits, that's another classic comp. This is the recordings from between 72 and 78 on the ABC label. Do It Again, Reeling in the Years, My Old School, Boa Vista, Showbiz Kids, East St. Louis Toodaloo, Ricky Don't Lose That Number, Pretzel Logic, Any Major Dude, Here's At the Western World, Black Friday, Bad Sneakers, Doctor Who, Haitian Divorce, Kids Charlemagne, The Fairs, Peg, Josie. It's just Don Fagen, Walter Beck. again, if you can have a compilation, get that in your collection. And finally, some, well, I'll say modern, 30 years old. And this is an album I picked up not so long back. It's a double album, and this is the Undertones all wrapped up. It's the best of the Undertones. On disc 1, it's all the singles, and then disc 2, it's all the B-sides, and you've got on the back there all the singles. Of course, it opens up with Teenage Kicks, which, you know, John Peel's favourite ever song. He had that played at his funeral. Again, another classic comp. There are other comps, but this is, I think, it may have more tracks, but I think this is the best comp to have. So, there's your classic comps, which for everyone to own. I was saying I was going to, I will do another video in the week with some CD finds, but that's for another time. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's the last day of the Premier League today, so as there's nothing much riding on it, I'll probably just watch it, just have one eye on it. So until the next time, take care. Bye.